It's time for Damn Good Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Shelby Clement. From corporate executive to CEO to entrepreneur and the founder of Damn Good Marketing Live. This podcast is all about digital marketing, building a business you love, and creating a brand that's authentic to who you are. So if you're ready for honest, raw marketing conversations that you will not find anywhere else, let's freaking get it. Everybody listening and tuning in, Morgan is freaking back. And I know you probably don't know her yet, but you're about to know her. You're going to follow her. You're going to freaking love her because this podcast episode is going to be jamming. And I literally, when I saw your post yesterday, I was like, she back. Truly. I was like, I only met you what was that, a month ago? Was it even a month ago?
Not even, I don't think.
Not even a month ago. And I just freaking adored you the moment. I even adored you before I met you in real life. And then, I met you in real life and it was like instant best friends. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I feel the exact same way about you. I was like, I love her energy right away. I just knew. For everyone there, all the speakers, I was like, wow, I just love everyone here.
Literally, Crystal did such a good job of bringing in such everybody was just on the same hype, feel, excitement. It was really good. So I want you to dive in really quick. Tell everybody who you are. What do you do? Let's just give a little bit of lowdown really quickly. And then we're just going to dive right on in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm Morgan and I'm Morgs Eliz on Instagram. And Elizabeth is my middle name. So that's why it's Morgs Eliz. And I've been business consulting for almost 7 years now. So I've been in this, consulting industry. And I was actually, if your podcast knows Crystal, I was one of Crystal's original mentors. And that's how I ended up meeting Shelby. I'm a mom of 2 and I live in Canada. I live 3 hours from Toronto, if anyone in your audience is from Canada or knows about Canada.
Shout out.
And yeah, other than that, I mean, I used to have a really athletic background. I did Ironman, and then after Ironman, I decided to build my business, and I've made multiple 7 figures in the online from digital products, everything from courses, masterminds, retreats, high ticket mentorship, masterminds, group programs, all
Literally
of it.
everything.
Yeah, literally all of it. I've tried it all, pretty much tried it all, except for a subscription model. I haven't done that yet.
Oh,
So
my,
yeah, which is what you do, which is
what
yeah.
what's the new thing we launched to do. But y'all, seriously, let's talk about you're huge in health and fitness. So she just had a baby. How old is your youngest baby?
She's 5 months tomorrow.
Yes, because so y'all, she was at the conference, so strapped onto mama. I absolutely adore babies there because I'm like, oh, my kids are 5 and 4 right now, and I can only imagine if they were actually in the room, it's either gonna go really well and they're gonna be really quiet and they're gonna watch, or they're gonna be like, Mom, I want you, and then everyone there is gonna just be like, why did you bring your kids? But I just want you. Can you talk about a little bit about why health and wellness is so important to you when it does come to running a business? Because it's huge for me too. But to hear from someone that puts it at the forefront, you're going through a 90-day challenge right now. Can you tell us about that and what got you started on that?
Yeah. Well, health and fitness has always been a huge part of my life. I feel like when I push myself and I challenge myself in fitness, I am the best version of myself in every other area of my life.
Yeah.
It reminds me confidence is something that you build. It's not something you're born with. And I feel like when I push myself to do things like Ironman or running races, or just maybe I want my physique to look a certain way, I prove to myself that I can.
Yeah.
And when you're disciplined in fitness, it's something that people can't take away from you. And I feel like when I was running my business, there's a lot of things that people can say about you, take away from you. Maybe, they people can make fun of you, say things about you, ask for refunds, just the disgruntled stuff that happens with running a business. Everyone goes through it. If you're going through this and you feel like you're alone in that, no, we all go through it.
We all go through it.
Yeah, literally. Make your first $500,000 online and you'll start to go through it. But fitness is something that people can't take away from me. How disciplined I am is something that people can't take away from me. And it
Yes.
really empowers me. It gives me confidence. So I feel like that's why I do it. And when I had my babies, I had to slow down. I had 2 miscarriages in between each pregnancy. And I think I just really slowed down because I was scared and I wasn't sure if the 2 are related of, heavy fitness and pregnancy. So I just decided to, or I miscarriages. So I just decided to take it slow.
Yeah.
through my first trimester, but then that bled into my second trimester and my third trimester. And then after pregnancy, I wasn't really moving my body. And I just noticed the effects of how I talk to myself was so different than how I talk to myself when I am working out and when I'm proving those like inner little gremlins that I have in my head that say, you can't do it, or not in this season, or, it's just not the right time right now. And when I prove those little gremlins wrong, I'm
Yeah.
able to sell better. I'm able to show up and do the program that I wanted to do, that I've been sitting and laying awake in bed thinking about. I have more momentum in my life. It builds momentum.
I love that. I love how you one are we're like the same. We like walk in parallel because I'm like, if I don't work out, number one, I do it now too. I mean, one, obviously to stay healthy and live a long life and all the things that we can try to control in our life. But two, also for the mental strength. Like it really does allow you to get mentally tough because one, when you work out, like you have to get yourself through that workout. And you actually like yesterday I was in a funk and I was like, I don't feel like doing anything. Like it could have been easy for me to just cancel my day. But instead I went and worked out and guess what happened? My mood changed. I mean, I wasn't like completely
Yeah.
out of the funk, but like it gives you the energy to keep going or to change your mindset that you actually went into it with. And it's just a beautiful thing. And I do know that like you pride yourself on as a business mentor, as fitness, as well as just showing up as a freaking human being in your business. And
Mm.
can you go a little deep on why it's so important to be a human being when it comes to your business and how you consult your clients?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, that's so good. I feel like I always ask myself, what do I like? When
Yeah.
I'm marketing online, or um I just always go back to, what am I attracted to? Who do I like to
Yes.
follow? You know, what makes me want to throw $10,000 at a new mastermind? Like,
Right.
what are they doing? How are they showing up? It's usually less to do with the offer and exactly what's in the offer, but how, for me at least, where I'm at in my business, it's a lot more to do with how the woman leads her life
Yeah.
in not just business, but how is she a mother? How is she in her relationships? For so long, I felt like I was comparing myself or wanting to work with mentors that were just um, rich, had a lot
Yeah.
of money in their bank account. And I went through a huge transition a few years ago where I was like, I'm going to start learning from happy mentors. You don't
Yes.
have to have the most amount of money in your bank account as a mentor. I just want you to live a life that looks like there's a lot of peace and joy in there, you
Yeah.
know? And so yeah, so I like to follow people that are just human, just authentic. You don't have to show me like your whole entire life, but there's a way to be authentic but still have boundaries. And I think that's definitely something I've learned over the years. Is I used to share every single minute of my day,
Yeah.
everything, my bank account statements, whatever. And I really scaled back, and I don't show my kids online. I don't really like to share my relationship as much online, but I'm still able to be authentic, and I'm still able to be me. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's a question I get a lot. So I'm gonna ask you this because it'll give like our listeners something tangible. What are some like tips in order for them to show personability online when they show up as their business and human? If they're like, "Well, Shelby, I don't want to show my kids. I don't want to show my husband." I'm like, "Okay, well, you don't have." Well, I'm not going to answer the question. Like, can you give us your feedback on
Yeah.
that? Because sometimes they need to hear it from someone else than me yelling down their throat. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so like, how do you be authentic online without, yeah, like sharing literally your whole entire butt? Um, okay, I'm trying to think. I'm like, want to like decode like what I do. I really just like to talk to people as if, like, I don't like to talk to everyone. I just like to talk to the few people that I know are my people.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's like a big thing for me. When I imagine like, okay, my high school friends, like my mom's friends who are like 65, and then people that are 25, I get overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know how to please all these people. I don't know how to show up, and I start to kind of waver in who I
yeah,
am and what I'm showing up as online. So for me, I just try to think of, who's my ideal client? Who are the people that I really want to, hone in on and speak to them? And I speak as if I'm talking to them at a coffee shop. I also will say it is about reps, because I spent an entire year offline, over a year offline. I left offline for a year and I ran my business behind the scenes. And when I came back, I was like wavering a bit. I was like,
yeah,
oh, like, I don't, what do I say? How do I show up? I was nervous. Like opening the app almost like gave me some sense of anxiety, because I literally was off it fully for over a year. And it was about the reps. It was about just showing up and continuing to show up, continuing to show up. And that made it easier. That made it easier for me to kind of find my voice online again.
Yeah.
Who I am online is similar to who I am offline, but online me will never take over who I am truly in person. Like it'll never, there is like a line there still for me. And that's a boundary that I've created for myself. So I think it's okay too to be like, you don't have to like be exactly who you are. Save that for the most special people in your life. Like
Yeah.
maybe take the pressure off that you need to somehow show up exactly how you show up at your family dinner online. Like
Yeah.
maybe there gets to be a little bit of a boundary. And for me, I don't like to share. I pick certain things that I like to share online. I love to talk business strategy online. I love to talk fitness online. For a bit there, I love to talk motherhood online. But those are my topics. Some
Yeah.
topics I don't have to talk about online. Those are saved for my family, my close friends. So I would say that pick some topics that are like make you feel comfortable online, that are very you, that your audience likes as well, and start there.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this, it really is as simple as like, you don't have to, I say this all the time. You don't have to air out your dirty laundry. That's not what we say when we say get personable online. And if you don't want to necessarily talk, because a lot of people are like, I don't want to show my kids. I don't want to show blah, blah, blah. I said, it's literally how you frame it. You could just say that I am my mom. Like today, I had to drop my kids off at school. Like whatever it is, where that is like little nuggets to like plant in your consumer's head that you are a mom, you are running a business, you are married, whatever you say. And like, it's just not as overcomplicated as people are making it. You is exactly what Morgan said. Like you get to set your boundaries of what you want to show and what you don't want to show. And so like, if you think about your favorite influencers or maybe your favorite mentors, some people will attract you more as what they're showing. So like I show up as super vulnerable as who I am in real life. So like, there's just two type of people. If you are wanting to be that way, then do that. If you don't want to be that way, then don't be that. So it's like, there's so many things where people follow. They're like, well, Shelby said this or Morgan said this. I'm like, no, it's what makes you feel comfortable as a business owner or as a brand that you're building online. And so I just love to touch on that and ask out from an outside perspective too, because we are a little different in that aspect of things, but it's good to hear that we have different takes on like what we do show up online as. And so I just want people to know that you do have permission to show up exactly however you want to be, not what someone is telling you to be.
100%. Like I work with clients that are like strictly sales. They have this mentality in their head that everything that I like, if I'm not making sales from every single piece of content on my Instagram and from my followers that are following me, then why are you even following me? Whereas like my approach and your approach is a little bit different. We're a little bit more building a community, building people that are going to follow us no matter what we do. If you change your business, Shelby, your community will still follow you. If you start to sell dog treats, people are going to be like, I like the dog treats because I like Shelby, right? It's none is right or wrong. Like you can show up online and just be a business owner and just sell your necklaces or just sell your consulting and everything be about educating and selling. You just run the risk of when you do decide to pivot, people haven't gotten to know you yet.
Yes.
People don't know the story, the depth. So it'll be hard for them all of a sudden if you're like, I'm over necklaces, I want to sell houses.
Yeah.
Well, they don't know you yet.
It's different, and you're lacking the building of the trust, which is still fine. I mean, a lot of times people are like, well, I don't want to show up and be vulnerable. All I truly care about right now, step one, everyone listening, like write it down, let it be ingrained in your brain, is just show a human behind the brand. So like if you are making a necklace, just show yourself. And like a lot of times people are weird to the point where like, even if you are like doing B-roll of yourself making a necklace, for example, and you don't necessarily want to talk about the good things of owning a business or the hardships or the good and the bad and the ugly, like that's totally fine. But if you're videoing yourself, people are analyzing you, which allows them to get to know you as a human. So what are your movements? Like how long it takes you? Like, is there a coffee sitting in the actual frame? Like it's that specific to where like people will get to know you as a human. Like if I had like a chomp, which I do, a chomps wrapper in my, I know, right? Even Morgan knows. And I have mangoes. So like truly they're both here. In there, like people, I don't even have to talk about it, but if they're sitting there, they'll be like, oh wait, I eat chomps too. Wow. She's got to be cool. Like, it's just like, it's every little detail that's in there that you don't have to like air out your laundry in online, because like
Yeah.
it's not as black and white. It's so crazy to talk about it like this because it's not as black and white as people are trying to make it out to be. It's literally as it's the rules that you are willing to follow. But the only way that you're going to make yourself different from your competitor is truly by letting someone get to know you a
Yeah.
little bit more than your competitor is letting them.
Yeah. That's so good. That's really good. I love that. That's really good.
Okay, so let's dive into business strategy a little bit because I know we talk about social media all the time. I know it's a huge component to like what you preach to because I see it. I saw it on your website. I see it on your social. I absolutely freaking love your 2 posts. Well, your last 3 posts, like bringing us along on the journey as you're building out your mastermind. Actually, no, we're not going straight in. I want you to tell me a little bit about that strategy. It is going obviously with your business strategy because obviously you still have to talk about it online. What made you say, like, I'm going to bring you along for the journey and I'm going to show you every single step? Because, like, I just went and deep dove again because I think some of these I think I comment twice, so just ignore them because I forget I comment the first time. But I'm like, damn, that's good. Like the first one you were bringing us along on the journey, that last slide, I was like, I just felt that in my gut. Like I literally just sent it to Elena and I'm like, this is good content. Can you
Yeah.
take us through the steps of like why, one, you think it's important to bring people on the journey, and like two,
Mm.
why you did it?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so it always goes back to what I want. What would make me want to sign up for something or purchase something? And I love a good like build in public moment from any sort of
Oh,
CEO.
yeah.
Like it's just so vulnerable. Um it's so ballsy, you know? Like
I
I don't
love
know
it.
if this is going to be successful or not. I have no idea. I haven't launched a mastermind in 4 years, but you know, I have really good energy behind it. I'm really confident about my abilities, and I think people would be really lucky to work alongside me with the type of container that I'm building. So I decided, okay, let's just like show people exactly what to do. And like I had a mentor back in the day that said, never like hide, never hold on to your knowledge, because the minute you let it go, you make room for more. So if I'm really
Yes.
scared about holding on to my strategies and holding on to like my secret sauce of how I build sales pages, or my secret sauce on how I go from, you know, an idea to executing on my mastermind, if I'm holding on to all of this, well then
Yeah.
I don't have room for more strategy to come. In fact, it actually puts me on my toes because I'm like, okay, I'm giving a lot of information out for free. Someone could literally look at that and be like, oh, I'm not even going to join her mastermind. I'm just going to copy what she's like I'm going to do what she's telling me to do in her post. That's fine. But for me, in my mastermind, it's requiring me to make new knowledge, new things, creating new pieces of content that are different and even more advanced than what I'm sharing online for free. And the other thing is too, people are never going to buy from you online if you can't teach them something for free.
Yes. Yes,
Right? Okay.
girl. Okay, I'm here for it. Sorry, keep going.
No, so that's just like, again, goes back to me. Like I don't sign up with anyone. Like the last mentor I signed up with, he was teaching me automations and systems in a more advanced way. And he had YouTube videos and trainings, and I learned so much from him, and I had never heard of this person before. I literally like it was a male mentor, never heard of him, but the minute he started teaching me things in his content for free, I converted so quickly from cold to hot purchased. Was one of his you know, he helped me get over my first $1 million. So I ended up being like one of his, not best clients, but like one of his client success stories or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and ever since, it's like reverse engineering my own purchases. That's what I do. I like, why did I buy that? It could be anything. A running shoe. It could be someone's free ebook online, or like $20 ebook online. Like I will pick it apart. I'm like, what was it that made me, did I see that like 10 times before I bought it? Or was that like one piece of content? Or was it because they were authentic? Like, was it because I saw a really, like for running shoes, is it because I saw this really cute influencer wearing them? Like, why did I buy it? You know, and I will reverse
So
engineer, and then I take that knowledge into my own content. So yeah, I guess that's what it would be.
well, it's like building that trust. Like, two, one, I like it because there's a couple things here that I want to like unpack that you said. Number one, you're building the trust, so you're bringing them along the journey. So, like, I have heard, like, what is a product that you've actually bought in your life that you haven't seen before you actually bought it, or felt some type of way where you like, oh, I trust that person, let me buy it from them. I mean, maybe in like Lowe's or Rouse's or whatever your grocery store is, maybe like that. But like a big purchase like this, I feel like it has to hit in some type of emotion. And so for you to actually showcase the journey, I think that's just making you, number one, just like the authority and credibility that you're building right there alone. And the vulnerability that you're talking about is huge because like you don't know if it's going to be successful. I mean, I have no doubt that it's going to be successful, but like you don't know, but you're willing to put yourself out there and say like, I'm building this for you. The second thing that you said that really just like struck me and I hit in the gut because like sometimes like back in the day, I would be like so scared to show my processes and how I do things. Cause I'm like, oh, somebody can like easily take it and copy. But now it's like, yes, they can take it and copy if they want, but they're never going to be you. So like you are like the special secret sauce, no matter if you show them literally from like start to finish of your program and how you do things. So like if you are so scared to put like your service or product online and how you make it or how you do it, if you aren't confident in who you are and that the trust that you're building with your consumer, then you can't put it out. But if you are confident, then you can put it out because no one can ever duplicate you because you are the difference between them and you. And so I love that you said that and shared that aspect of it. And then third is like when you see something online, like I say this all the time, like think about your favorite influencer, think about your favorite product or brand that you follow that like it's a no-brainer. And then ask yourself, why did I buy that in that moment? Like what in like I love that you said like I reverse engineer it and that's how you create your content is because like truly that's how you should be creating your content in general. Anyone that's listening to this is like, why are you buying everything? What is your movement? If you understand your consumer so freaking well, you should know when they're going to buy and when they're not. How many pieces of content that person needs, how much, you know, like not babying, but like how much attention they need from you on like, hey, I know you might be interested in this, but like, let me know what questions you have. And then it might not be, but like your next program you offer, it might be because they felt seen by you. So I think it's like a huge combination. And I just honor you for, you know, putting that all out there. When I saw you do this a couple weeks ago, because I saw when you did the photo shoot. But when I deep dove into like that post, I was like, this is genius. And it's not even over the top, like aesthetically pleasing. It's literally just meat and potatoes. And it's like, boom, this is exactly what I'm freaking doing. Watch it and follow along. And then you have the FOMO that you're showing of I only have 10 to 12 spots. So like, are you going to actually get in it? You know what I mean? Because people are going to feel like they're missing out. So I think it's genius. Sorry, I literally just went on
Yeah.
a rant for you.
No, there's this book, like if I could leave this with your audience, like now I don't know exactly what your type of businesses your audience has, but
Mhm.
one book that I absolutely love um, is Launch by Jeff Walker. Have you read it?
I haven't. Well, now I'm going
Okay,
to
it's
go.
like a really tangible book. So like it'll literally tell you exactly the type. This this launch strategy is something that I love to teach my clients. I tell them all to get the book. And anyways, it's amazing. It'll tell you exact emails to send, the flow of launching a new product. Like it's fantastic. I mean, I put my own spin on it the way I teach it, but that is a really good tangible book for your clients if they're ever like launching something.
Okay, cool. I want to ask you this. Let's go back. Let's kind of pivot into like the business aspect of things because I would definitely want to pick your brain while you're here. What is like one of your key tips on like scaling your business? Like the only way that you can scale your business, I guess like what do you need to get over the hump from 500,000 to, you know, seven figures? Like what is the things that you have to do and implement in the seasons of your business to actually get to that point?
Yeah, that's so good. There's like so much. I feel like okay, first off, just from like a person perspective and like you got to detach from who you are and what your business was to get you to 500K because that person, that business owner is going to have to be very different in your new role of 500 to a million. So it, I think there is like a level of detaching and letting go of who you used to be to like where you want to go. I think it's important to have a stackable product suite. So, yes, you could make $1 million by having 100 people in a $10,000 mastermind, but like, do you want that? Like,
Yeah.
is that really what you want? It's actually better to have just more of a stackable product suite. It's simple math. Usually, a lot of business owners aren't even doing the math they need to do in terms of like, okay, what do I need to do to actually hit my $1 million? Is actually it is complicated, I guess, but it's not really at the end of the day if you have the right priced product suite. So a stackable product suite is a big thing. Client retention. I find that don't waste your time always trying to get new clients when you can
Yes.
just the lifetime value of your current clients can be expanded. Do you
Yes.
have containers for them to go into after they've had a really successful time with you? I also think planning ahead. So it goes back to just like goal planning in general. Like, do you know what your contracted sales are for 2025? One of my clients, she's $300,000 away from having $1 million contracted for 2025, meaning she knows she's going to make $1 million in 2025 already, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't look at their financials. They don't have an income in and income out spreadsheet that they open up every single day or at least once a week. These, a lot of business owners, I'm a very logical, strategic, like I like numbers. I like to look at the spreadsheets. I like to it's black and white for me. It's, yes, there's an energy behind it, but a lot of it has to do with putting in the reps,
Yeah.
putting in the fucking reps,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
swear,
No, it's okay.
but it's so, understanding your financials is also huge. Like, it's not just having all of this money coming in, flying by the seat of your pants, not understanding your taxes, not understanding where money's going and coming, and you're just making investments out of wherever. Like, getting really crystal clear. That was another thing that one of my mentors taught me when I was like just on that edge, like of going from 500 to a million. It was like, he taught me, you write out your income in and income out every single day. So every day I'd have to go into my spreadsheet and write, okay, I paid $15 for Voxer today. I paid, $1,000 to my freelancer. I paid whatever. And I had to every day do this. So I had to see, where was my money going? What was I doing? And then I made what I made, how much money was coming in. But seeing the numbers helped me stay motivated with making my sales,
Yeah.
showing up, knowing, okay, I need to make 5 mastermind sales this month. That means that I need to be making at least one to two a week. I need to be enrolling into my mastermind. Okay, how many times am I going to talk about my mastermind then this week in order to get 1 to 2? It's usually not just one post. It's usually not just one reel. It's usually a series of like 4 or 5 to
Yes.
get a mastermind client over the edge, you know? And also, what type of content? Like, I talk a lot about quality, not quantity. Like how Shelby's saying how these posts that I made about basically breaking down my mastermind, these got like 30 likes. They got, I don't know, 50 saves, whatever. But my other ones where I'm just showing my baby bump and my flowers and my shoes and me in a dress, yeah, I get 400 likes on those. But those don't make me money. What makes me money is more of
Exactly.
this,
Oh,
it's the strategic. It's the ones that get the saves. It's the ones that's strategic. It's where you're convicting and coaching and teaching. Does it hit my whole audience? No. A lot of them, 90% of my audience will never buy. They're not, they have no intention of buying from me.
yeah.
Like, they might buy from me in the future as long as I put the work in and don't just make a few Canva graphics. Like, for example, these carousel posts where I'm breaking down and educating people and sharing the behind the scenes. This might get some of the 90% to be like, maybe I do want to, what is this thing that Morgan
Yeah.
does? Like, I want to get to
Yeah.
the world a little bit more. But that's an important, now I lost where we even were. What were we even talking about in the first place?
You were literally talking about how you do strategic things. You're black and white. You look at your numbers in and out, and
Yeah.
like if you have to, what type of content you have to create in order to sell the 1 to 2 spots a week. You're basically talking about how
Yeah.
strategic planning you're doing to hit those numbers to get from 500,000 to a million.
Yeah. So yeah, and it does have a lot to do with your product suite. It really does. Like, I mean, your product suite has to make sense, and you need to have the right. In order to go from 500 to a million, you have to have the right capacity and product suite. So maybe it's time for you to increase your prices. Maybe it's time for you to actually say goodbye to the clients that you first started your business with, because grandfathering them in with these pricing isn't really serving you anymore. And it's probably not serving them. So maybe it's just time to put out an email, make the hard call, and say, these are my prices going into 2025. And who you start your business with is usually not who is going to be paying you, and you're going to be making that extra. No, how do I say it? Like, who you start your business with, those clients that you initially that took a chance on you, they're probably not going to be the clients that end up with you when you're making your $1 million a year.
Yes, Exactly.
And that's okay, but that's okay.
That's very
You just
okay.
need to be brave and have courage to, and you can exit gracefully from those clients. It doesn't have to be, see you later, like I'm moving on and now my prices are 3 times extra. Like maybe you set a date. You say, you know what, in 60 days from now, I'm going to write this email. I'm going to share my truth. I'm going to talk about how my business has grown.
Yeah.
And another thing that I love to do as well is businesses are expensive to run. Like sometimes people are like, "Oh, I don't want to raise my prices," or ah." I'm like, "Girl, do you know how much it is to run a business?" Like, we get charged a lot of tax. There's a lot of business expenses. There's stuff you got to pay for. Sometimes, if you actually break down how much it actually costs to run, you feel a little bit more okay with the new pricing that you need to charge,
Yes.
It doesn't have to be so much like, "Oh, is my worth involved?" No, just do the numbers. Just do the numbers. It literally costs a lot of money to run these businesses and create a life and create a business for yourself that serves you and your family. When that why is deep, it's actually easy to charge what you need to charge when the why is deep. I don't want to make a lot of money to buy fancy luxury bags. I don't want that. That's
Yeah.
not why I make money. I make money so I can have the ability to choose and just to have freedom in my life. But mostly the ability to choose how much I'm around my kids, choose what I want my days to look like, choose how many calls I want in my calendar, just to choose. That's it.
You get the freedom to choose. And like, piggybacking on something that she said that I've just realized that we're starting to break down too. Because I do have clients, like when you said this, I was like, she's talking to me, that did start with me and are grandfathered into pricing. That does need to change, obviously. But if you do break down too, because there are some clients I'm like, oh my God, they do pay me a lot of money. But when I actually break down the hours that we spend on their stuff, I'm losing money versus making money. And so
Yeah.
like, if you can look at it like that and say like, okay, if I lose this client tomorrow, okay, like I'll still be like fine because I'm not losing all of the money. And you can easily replace that client with 2 clients that literally would honestly have less time for you in the first place. But like this is something I had to teach myself too, because I'm like, oh, I'm scared to go up on pricing and I'm scared to do this. I don't want to ruffle feathers. And you know what? Honestly, guys, if you're listening to this and you're scared to go up on pricing, number one, you're not alone. But number two is like God won't put somebody in your life that can't fulfill the need that you need. So like if that door closes to the client that was with you from the very beginning and they say, I'm sorry, Shelby, or whoever it is, I can't go up with your pricing. Thank you so much. Whatever. It's because it's making room for the client that is coming your way. So like you have to trust that the process that you're going
Yeah.
through is just another opportunity that you're about to be presented. And this is what you have to do in order to get to the $1 million. If that's what you're
Yeah.
looking for. I mean, who wouldn't want to scale from 500,000 to $1 million? But I mean, it's a hard jump. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. So this was amazing. Absolutely loved having you. Where can they find you? Give us a little slowdown. What's coming up with Morgan? How can they work with you? Tell us all the things.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel like the best thing to do is just share my Instagram. So I'm at Morgs Eliz. So MorgsEliz. And just come say hi. I am launching a mastermind.
She is.
I'm launching a mastermind at the end of November. So I don't know when this is launching, but
It'll probably be perfect timing.
yeah. But I'm thinking it's going to be sold out with some of my old clients anyways, but come say hi, and in the future potentially if I have spots open for private mentorship or if I launch my mastermind again in 2025, I'm not sure yet. I might just actually launch it once. But regardless, I give free value and tips, motherhood, business, fitness, on my page. So if that's your jam, come hang out.
Definitely, y'all. She's a gem. I met her in real life and she's amazing. And like truly, she just poured into me. And I was like, we barely even knew each other. She was like asking all of these questions. I was like, I can tell she's a mentor, but not necessarily in a bad way. It was literally like, how are you doing this? How can I help you do this? And like, she's just so kind. So I appreciate you for being here.
Aw.
And I love you for it. And I can't wait to see you again and all the things. So thank you so much for being here, guys. If you love this episode, remember, comment, like, share, leave a review. And until next time, let's freaking get it. And that's a wrap on another episode of Damn Good Marketing Podcast. Thank you all so much for being here. Make sure you comment, review, share it with a friend. Come back next week. And until next time, let's freaking get it.